What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So my name is Jose Villalobos. So today I am making a video about what is a good luck or a bad luck. A bad luck is when you write a note to Jesus Christ. How you gonna do that? That's a bad luck. Because if you write a note to Jesus Christ, if you want to be safe, you can't be writing notes to Jesus Christ. Just pray. It's easy. If you don't know how to pray, look it up on YouTube. How to pray. Because there's some people who write a note to Jesus, but it doesn't make any sense. When you write a note to Jesus, how you really communicating to Jesus? You're communicating to the darkness, not to Jesus. Here's the difference. Here's the difference between communicating to Jesus, and here's the difference between communicating to writing a note. Writing a note, you're not really communicating to Jesus. You're just communicating to darkness. But communicating to Jesus is by praying. That's communication. That's communication of Jesus. How are you gonna look in the past even you're not having a good past? How are you gonna look in the past even there's nothing good in the past? You can't look in the past. Focus on the future. When the more you focus on the future, the more you focus on yourself. Because you're focused on your career. If you go to college, that's good. You're focusing on the career instead of a future. Because future means nothing anymore. Because if you have bad memories there, that sucks. Remember, guys, turn on your notification bell and hit the subscribe button. Those you guys who are new, because it's always amazing to start it. I'm in the park of Sara Mendez, walking, giving thanks to Jesus, as we all should. Just like the song. I don't know the whole song, but there's some song that it says, "Amazing grace, how sweet that sound." How sweet that sound. Yes, it's the birds that singing. It's the birds. That means when the sun comes out, when you wake up in the morning. I always wake up in the morning and clean. I clean my house. Before I come out here and take a walk, well, some of the time I water the plants out there, but that does not matter. Okay, so let me break it up to you guys. Number one, let's go back to the communication to Jesus. How are you going to communicate to Jesus? Even Jesus knows your heart, not the lyrics. Jesus knows your heart, not the note. Not the lyrics, not the note. He knows your heart, what you've been going through. If you're writing a note to Jesus, what are you doing? We all should pray full of faith. Who cares if it's Christian? Who cares if it's Catholic? Christian and Catholic should know this already. We all should know that praying, God hears our prayer. But writing a note to Jesus? Really? You're writing a note to darkness. What are you doing? What are you doing writing a note to darkness? Just write a note to Jesus. By speaking, don't write a note to Jesus. Just pray to Jesus. He hears your prayer. Always remember what comes out of your heart, because that's the only matter that takes on your own hand, and it takes it on God's hand at the same time. Why? Because all Christian and Catholics should know this already. Sometimes I like to see the sunset. Sometimes I like to see what comes next. I'm walking around since 4:30 or 4:50 p.m. I've been walking around, but it's still hot. You know why? Because it's a blessing to have this weather. It's a blessing to have this weather, especially when you're very, very, very grateful. Why? Why are we grateful? That's what you should ask yourself. Why are we grateful? Why do we praise Jesus? Because the man who died on the cross for us, we don't deserve nothing, because we were not existed at that part. We've been made of. There's between different of existed. Existed is when you believe that Jesus exists. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his one only son. Those who are believers should not perish but have eternal life with him. Not with us. Not with you guys. With Jesus only. That's the only matter that will take. And that's the only matter that God take on his hand. Okay. I have a question for you guys. A very, very interesting question. What do you guys do at night before you go to sleep? Or before you start the routine? What do you guys do? Do you guys pray? Or do you guys write a note? Because writing a note, it's a bad luck. What angle are you guys doing? What trust are you guys doing? What life are you guys into? Are you guys into darkness or to the light? I tell you what. We are in the light because we, as believers, we are safe. But we all sin a lot. Did you know to be in a church choir, you have to go through the bad things? To go in the church choir, you have to go through the rough thing and scary thing. No one's perfect. God is. How could you say that? How could you call it perfect even we really not perfect? How could you make it happen even you don't know what's happening? You don't know what's happening. How could you say that you are okay but you're really not okay? How could you say that you could do it on God's hand even you're not praying? You're not praying like full of faith. Just remember, always pray through faith, so you know what comes next, what God give you next. We don't know. Only God knows. We don't know if it's really gonna happen. We don't know if it's really gonna take it, if Jesus gonna take it on his hand. Well, I don't know. It depends how you do. It depends if you're writing a note. If you're writing a note to him, he's not gonna see it, he's not gonna hear it, because you're writing the notes to him and you're living in the darkness. If you want to be saved, you have to write the whole story, what happened to Jesus Christ. You have to write the whole story. Just remember, always be careful what you write in. Because remember, all of you guys, those who are new subscribers, you all should know this too. Because some of you guys are Catholic, some of you guys are Christian. Because writing a note, it's not a good idea. It's a bad luck. Why? Because you can't write a note for Jesus. You could write a note to your loved ones. That's what you could do. Let's break it up. Let's break it up together with writing notes. How are you going to write a note? How is Jesus going to hear you? That's my real question. I'll tell you why and how. Why does he hear you? Because he loves us. Why we shouldn't write notes to Jesus? Because Jesus will not see it, will not hear it. As long as you become clean, of your sin, then you could do it. If you're at the church, at the Catholic church or a Christian church, like religious, whatever they call it, to write a note, like a priest, then you could do it. If you're not a priest, do not do it. It's really, really, really dangerous. Spirits, because right now, a spiritual warfare, it's happening everywhere. Spiritual warfare, it's like really, really happening. Why? Because there's a lot of people who are getting mad easily. There's a lot of people who don't believe in Jesus. There's a lot of people who don't really like to talk about Jesus. That is the darkness. That is the demon. Just remember, never call demon's name, because that is really dangerous. And never write a note, because that is a bad luck. Remember, always be careful what you do. And thank you guys to watch this video on YouTube. Please subscribe and smash the like button and turn on your notification bell. And remember, always stay blessed and stick together until the next video that I'm gonna post. I don't know when I'm gonna post another video, so remember, stay blessed. Comment down below if you guys believe in Jesus. We all believe in Jesus as Christian and Catholic. God bless you guys.